Bring in South Dakota Republican Senator John Thune, who is on the Senate Budget Committee and also chairman of the Republican Policy Committee. Senator, good morning to you. Very good to have you here this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Martha.
So let's talk about that. Senator Sessions says basically, we've seen this happen before with stimulus, with health care, and with the continuing resolution, that what happens is a small group go behind closed doors, then they come out and say, look, if we don't pass this thing right away, we're going to be in an emergency situation. Is that where we're headed here again?
Right. Well, I think that's the point that Senator Sessions was trying to make, Martha, is that many of these major negotiations are a handful of people behind closed doors, and then you come out with a product and it's a take it or leave it thing. I think what he's suggesting, and it's something all of us have been advocating, is let's have a budget debate. We haven't had a budget pass Congress now for 790 days. That's how long it's been since this Congress, which spends $3.7 trillion every single year of the taxpayers' money, has actually passed a budget. There is a way that we should be doing this. We have committee process, regular order. It's all in the light of day, and that's how the budget process ought to be conducted. I think that was the point that Senator Sessions was making.
Yeah, but what seems to happen is we hear nothing, in terms of open negotiations in Congress. Then there's sort of a public clamoring, well, you guys need to go sit down together and hammer this thing out. Then that seems to be what happens. And then, as he said, we hear these emergency deadlines, which I think a lot of Americans start to really wonder about, Senator Thune. And now we're up against another one, August 2nd, and it's likely we're going to find ourselves in the same situation. What's your take on that?
Well, my view is that we need to change the way we do things around here in lots of ways, but particularly with regard to the budget. I mean, first off, we need a balanced budget amendment, which is something that many of us have been talking about. We're going to try and get a vote on that sometime this month, because what we need to do to get the economy and the country back on track and creating jobs again, Martha, is cut spending, cap spending in future years, deal with these entitlement programs that are going to bankrupt the country if we don't make changes in them going forward. And have some discipline imposed on Congress. I mean, right now, most states, a lot of states, have a balanced budget amendment. It forces them to balance their budgets every year. Congress and Washington don't have that, and as a consequence, Washington continues to spend, and then at the last minute, against a deadline, come in and go into these closed negotiations, produce a product that they come out and say, okay, take it or leave it. That's not the way to run a country that spends $3.7 trillion every single year.
Well, Mitch McConnell has basically said that there will be no tax increases that Republicans can agree to. My question to you is this: what about tax reform? And in that tax reform plan, there would be things that would take away loopholes from corporations and others that would simplify the tax code. That would increase some people's taxes. Would you be willing to go forward with a program like that?
Well, I think tax reform is long overdue, but it's going to take presidential leadership in order to accomplish that, and this president has demonstrated no, at least yet, inclination to get into these heavy debates and these heavy issues. I think what we need right now, going up to this debt limit increase on August the 2nd, is to get the spending issue dealt with. Clearly, there's a lot of contention around taxes, and obviously I think tax reform is something that this country needs to undertake.
I'm running out of time,
we're not going to get that done now.
Excuse me, but what will you vote on the debt ceiling? Are you concerned about August 2nd? Do you think the world's going to sort of end on August 2nd if we don't pass something, or are you okay with not getting a debt ceiling increase?
Well, I think we need to raise the debt ceiling, but we need at the same time to cut spending and cap spending and do something about these long-term problems that we've got that are going to bankrupt the country in the form of entitlement programs.
Senator John Thune, thank you very much. We hope to see you back here again soon. Big discussion.
Thanks, Martha.
Going on. We appreciate it, sir.